Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're taking a closer look at how Shakyamuni Buddha taught, how he guided people. Our source is a really interesting lecture by Master Ching Kung, how Shakyamuni Buddha educated sentient beings, basically.
Yeah, and what's really insightful, I think, is how Master Ching Kung presents the Buddha.
Yeah.
Not just, as a spiritual figure, but really as a compassionate educator.
Right.
He uses Buddhist scriptures, compares his approach even to Confucius, which kind of highlights how unique the Buddha's methods were.
Exactly. And for you listening, our mission here is to really pull out the core principles, the methods the Buddha used, according to this lecture.
Yeah, understand what made his teaching so effective and, well, why it still matters today.
Okay, so let's start with understanding Shakyamuni Buddha himself through Master Ching Kung's lens.
Well, the lecture really emphasizes his compassion. From a very young age, apparently. He was deeply aware of human suffering. The 3 sufferings, the 8 sufferings, things like birth, aging, sickness, death, all of it.
And this wasn't just a passing thought, right? It really drove him.
Absolutely. It was the catalyst for his big decision.
To renounce his royal life, give it all up.
Yeah, leaving comfort, privilege, everything to find a way out of suffering. And then he went on this, intensive search for knowledge.
Learning from different teachers, trying different practices.
Right, until his enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. The lecture talks about pure wisdom arising.
And see and generating blessedness, like a breakthrough from purifying the mind.
Exactly. A deep understanding of reality, seeing things clearly.
And this is where Master Ching Kung brings in that contrast, which I found really interesting.
Between the Buddha and Confucius.
Yeah. He talks about the Buddha's alo.
Sudden enlightenment, sudden severing of afflictions, sudden transcendence, a sudden leap.
Compared to Confucius's yu, that gradual cultivation.
Right. Confucius's path, as it's presented, was more step-by-step, 30, 40, 50, finding clarity over time, maybe more relatable for many.
Possibly, whereas the Buddha's path is described as this perfect and sudden great dharma, very transformative.
And the timeline given is 80 years old by Chinese counting, 79 Western.
And crucially, 49 of those years spent teaching after enlightenment at 30. A long time.
A very long teaching career.
So, after this sudden enlightenment, what was his very first teaching?
According to Master Ching Kung, it was the Avatamsaka Sutra.
Yes. But apparently it wasn't like a normal lecture. It happened while he was in deep meditation.
Whoa.
And the audience. 41 Dharma body bodhisattvas. So very advanced beings.
Okay, so definitely not for your average person on the street at that point.
Probably not. It's called a tana, a sudden teaching. A pure. Perfect and sudden.
Suggesting something incredibly profound right from the get-go.
Yeah, but maybe not immediately accessible. Which leads us to, well, how did he teach everyone else for the next 49 years?
Good question. What was the scope?
The method.
The lecture stresses his audience was huge. All beings in the 9 realms. Immensely diverse.
So, not a one-size-fits-all approach, then?
Definitely not. Master Ching Kung says the content, the style, it all varied, tailored to the individual. There's different people, different content.
Makes sense. But were there common goals running through it all?
Oh, absolutely. 3 main aims, consistently. First, help beings.
Cease evil, cultivate goodness.
Second, break through delusion, attain enlightenment.
Okay.
And third, transform from ordinary beings into sages.
Those are pretty profound goals.
They are. And Master Ching Kung calls the Buddha's entire life's work SSM.
Perfect and complete social education for everyone.
Or even multicultural social education, considering the audience.
And he did it all voluntarily, right? No fees.
That's right. A volunteer. Taught freely. Teaching without discrimination. Come one, come all. Those who came weren't rejected. Those who left weren't detained.
An incredibly open and dedicated teacher. So, okay, across all this teaching, what was the core message? The central truth?
It's described as the just be yo.
The true nature of the universe and life, also called tijia.
Exactly. And Master Ching Kung breaks this down into 3 key aspects.
All right, let's hear them. What's the first?
First is understanding the truth between people.
Okay, how does that help?
Well, the idea is if you truly understand this interconnectedness, conflict disappears. Harmony arises naturally.
That makes intuitive sense. understanding our shared reality should foster connection. What's the second aspect?
Second is the truth between humanity and nature. Watch 1-4.
And the implication there.
If we really grasped our dependence on the environment, we'd naturally protect it. It would prevent, ecological disasters caused by human ignorance.
Very relevant today. And the third?
The third involves the truth between us and beings in, different dimensions.
Like spirits, gods.
Essentially, yes. Acknowledging that reality might be broader than just this physical world, this one lifetime.
So these three truths, people, nature, other dimensions, form the bedrock. What else does understanding this true nature entail?
It gets into the nature of reality itself. The lecture touches on phenomena appear to exist.
Exactly.
Their inherent nature is empty. Ultimately empty, unobtainable.
Meaning we can't really possess or control things.
Not in any permanent sense, not even our own bodies.
He uses the example of aging and death, right? We can't stop them no matter how much we want to.
Precisely. If you can't control your own body, how can you truly control anything external? It highlights the illusion.
So instead of clinging,
the path is alignment. Mind unites with the universe, body with all things.
Because it all arises from mind.
Yes. Like a dream. Seems real while you're in it, but it's all mind-generated.
That's a powerful way to put it. Okay, so from this understanding, the lecture moves into stages of learning, using...
Right. Awakening, correctness, and purity. These are framed as foundational, like the basic principles in old Chinese education.
Like, I'm from the three-character classic. People are inherently good.
Exactly. And it stresses how vital early education is, shaping character early on.
Because bad habits formed young are hard to break later.
Very hard. So these three, is Buddha being awake, not deluded?
Is Dharma correct principles, not deviated?
And is Sang purity, not defiled or stained?
And to know what's truly correct or pure, the lecture says we need to rely on the scriptures.
It's actually absolutely rely on the Buddha's teachings in the sutras, because there are so many false teachers out there. Oh, shugu baoha.
Words like the sands of the Ganges. Wow. So the scriptures are the standard.
Yes, and focus is key. The way of teaching values concentration. Don't scatter your energy.
Okay. So using Kwa as the framework, what are the core practices the Buddha taught?
Master Ching Kung outlines several key sets. First up, the East to Alka's 3 categories of pure conduct.
Right.
Category 1 is about human and heavenly blessings. It includes filial piety, respecting teachers, and compassion, non-killing, plus the 10 virtues.
Basic ethics, really.
Absolutely fundamental. The lecture calls this the foundation for all Buddha's enlightenment. It starts here.
It's a strong statement. Okay, what's category 2?
Category 2 is for the blessings of the hearers and solitary realizers, Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas.
What does that involve?
Taking refuge in the 3 jewels, upholding precepts, and maintaining proper conduct, decorum.
Building on the ethical base with more specific commitments. And the third category, the great vehicle, the Bodhisattva path.
Yes, great vehicle blessings. This includes generating bodhicitta that wish to attain enlightenment for everyone.
The big aspiration.
Huge. Also, deep faith in cause and effect, especially that remembering Buddha leads to becoming a Buddha. Then, studying Mahayana scriptures and encouraging others.
So it progresses from self-conduct to commitment to this vast bodhisattva ideal. What other practices are highlighted?
Next are the Okyas, the 6 harmonies. These seem very community-focused.
Okay, like what?
Harmony in views, in precepts, in living together, in speech, no arguments, in mind with shared joy, and in sharing benefits equally.
Wow, that sounds like a recipe for a functional, supportive group.
It does. But the lecture emphasizes these are for your cultivation, not rules to impose on others.
Ah, important distinction. Self-discipline within the community. What comes after the 6 harmonies?
The 06 perfections, or paramitas, these are more about individual development.
Which are?
Generosity, discipline, patience, diligence, meditation, and wisdom.
Wisdom as in understanding emptiness.
Yes, the wisdom that arises from meditation, not just worldly cleverness. These 6 are primarily for transforming yourself.
So, harmonies for community, perfections for self-growth. What about directly helping others?
For that, we have the 4, embracing dharmas, for Sira, benefiting others.
Okay.
These are giving material, emotional, loving speech, sincere, kind words, beneficial action, doing things that help, and identification, sharing goals, working together.
These sound very practical, ways to connect and guide.
Very much so. Principles for effective interaction and support.
And finally, the lecture mentioned the 10 great vows.
Yes. The 10 great vows of Samantabhadra Bodhisattva. These are presented as kind of the ultimate, most complete bodhisattva practices, aligning yourself fully with the path.
Give us a sense of them.
They include things like reverence to all Buddhas and beings, praising the enlightened ones, making offerings, repentance, rejoicing in others' merits.
Overcoming jealousy there.
Right. Also, requesting teachings, asking Buddhas to stay, always learning from Buddhas, acting according to beings' needs, and dedicating all merit.
That's incredibly comprehensive. A vast vision.
It really is.
So pulling it all together, what's the absolute core, the essence of all this practice, according to Master Ching Kung?
He boils it down to,
Compassion as the root, skillful means as the gateway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And true compassion isn't just feeling sorry for someone, it's love, but with sincerity, purity, equality, and correct understanding.
And the skillful means?
They are the methods, the techniques, chosen specifically because they are the most suitable way to guide that particular being towards awakening, correctness, and purity.
It's interesting how compassion isn't just the goal, but also dictates the method. The how is driven by the why.
Precisely. The effectiveness hinges on that compassionate foundation, a lesson that, applies way beyond Buddhism. Think about how you communicate, mentor, or just interact with the people.
So for you listening, what we've uncovered in this deep dive is that the Buddhist teachings form this really interconnected system. It's about transforming yourself, yes, but also about creating harmony. And it's adaptable.
Applicable at many levels. The focus on compassion, wisdom, and skillful guidance offers, a lot to think about for anyone seeking knowledge or maybe a more meaningful way to live.
Yeah, and maybe some food for thought. How relevant is this approach, core principles plus individual adaptation in our world today with so much information coming at us?
That's a great question. How could concepts like awakening correctness, purity, act as a kind of compass for you personally as you navigate everything?
It's definitely just scratching the surface. We'd encourage you, if you're interested, to explore the original texts, look into Master Ching Kung's teachings more deeply. There's a lot there.
Absolutely. What parts of this resonated with you? What questions does it bring up? It really can be the start of a much deeper exploration.